All right, ladies and gentlemen, Monday market report time. This is for the week ending August 27th, 2023. I want to thank you guys for tuning in on this video where we take a look at the most important, most relevant post-1900 modern era of graded coins that have sold here. Traditionally, we look at greatcollections.com. They have been one of the most reliable resources for such data, and we have a monumental report for you today that covers 27 total coins. That's how big this week was at Great Collections, and a lot of incredibly impressive coins. And I would dare say that all across the board, from Lincoln cents all the way to half dollars, it was action-packed. So what exactly has been selling? Well, just about everything, and you're going to see that here momentarily. Great Collections is your number one resource for not only buying coins, if you're looking to add that premier piece to your collection, but they will also take care of your consignments as well. If you have some pretty nice coins that you've been holding on to, maybe they've been inherited to you. I hope I got that right, geez. Anyways, yeah, they're going to take care of you, and the whole process couldn't be simpler. Ian and his team have been doing it for a number of years, and they have firmly placed themselves at the top of the mountain for such services. So go check out greatcollections.com if you want to know more. So yeah, the market overall, incredibly robust. We're in this transitional phase of summertime going into the holiday season. Usually that kind of back to schoolish Labor Day type of time frame is usually where that switch is flipped. I would say that the summertime was actually pretty good. It was a really good summer, showcasing a lot of premier registry set pieces that we haven't seen in years. And now they're all of a sudden coming out of the woodwork just in time for not only some of the biggest premier shows of the year, but also getting into the holiday season, where the holiday tends to pick up a few notches in the proverbial belt of activity. So it's exciting to see. And yeah, I mean, let's go ahead and jump right in. We have quite a few five-figure coins. Some that's going to leave you scratching your head like, wow, I had no idea that those type of coins can realize that kind of value, but I will explain as we go, so that way you guys know how to achieve some of these big blistering sales. All right, and it's not easy. All right, you really have to ratchet up your grading game to a whole new level, and that's primarily what is going to be the important aspect of being successful at the grading game. All right, so let's go ahead and get things started here. Thank you guys again for all of your views and support. And yeah, we're going to kick it off just in the most absolute stupidest of ways with our first five-figure coin coming in the way of a good old pedestrian 1985 Lincoln Memorial set. Now, I'm not going to BS you. This is a high-grade registry set piece. And that's exactly what it is. The audience, the collectors for such things, are very slim. But we are talking, Lincoln sets, one of the most popularly collected series on the face of this planet. And the PCGS and NGC registry sets promote Lincoln set collecting very heavily. So there are folks that have unbelievable scores of cash that's willing to dump some money into the finest graded known examples of each respective coin. So the 1985 here, Mint State 69 is where we're at here, full red through PCGS. It's the big one. I believe it's a pop 4 or 5 or something ridiculous like that. With the many hundreds of millions of 1985 Lincoln cents that were produced, only a couple of them would grade out at a 69. There are no known 70s of this coin yet. So this one ended up selling for $11,812.50. My goodness. Yeah, and there's your first head scratcher. There's bound to be a few more, but please, here's their little fine print. If you think you have a coin that looks better than this, you can't just sell it raw. You have to get it graded, and don't be upset if it doesn't come out at the top grade, because it's very hard to achieve. And I think a lot of folks tend to place a heavy favorite on their own grading acumen than what is the norm for these big grading companies like PCGS and NGC. Usually there's going to be quite a bit of difference there in that range. Even I went through it a number of years ago thinking that I knew my stuff, and I didn't. So yeah, I mean, it's the potential's huge. These are kind of like lottery odds type chases, and it's possible to happen. But at the same time, what's the possibility that you could win $10,000 scratcher at your local lottery office or gas station or whatever? Yeah, it's kind of tough. So keep that in mind. The next one that we have here, yet again, another registry set pieces. You're going to see a fair number of those. This time a 1977 Lincoln Memorial set. This one coming in the way of a Mid-State 68 full red. Keep in mind that PCGS graded examples carry a heavier premium in the market over NGC and Annex graded top pop coins as well. All right, it's just this is the grader of choice for a lot of discerning Lincoln cent collectors and all other collections. Jefferson nickels, things like that. So this one right here sold for $2,431.12. Another staple in a high-end Lincoln cent collection. Another one here, 1973D, this time a PCGS Mid-State 67 Plus, full red specimen. Compared to the 1985, it's like polarizingly different, what the quality was just in the span of 12 years. It's amazing, just to see that firsthand. This one, looking at the reverse, you see all of those dye polish lines, maybe an attempt to clean up a clash or something to that effect. It doesn't look as presentable and well executed on a strike level compared to that coin that's 12 years newer. But again, this is part of that challenge, is being able to find and identify those particular earlier dated coins that will grade out at the highest level. It's not easy. This one, much like the previous coin, sold for $2,431.12. Now, if the whole high-end grade thing is not your thing, how about varieties? Okay, varieties are cherry pickable in pocket change and BU rolls at coin shops and shows, you name it. 1972 Lincoln Memorial Cent. This is a very nice grade, not the top grade, but this coin has a lot of value across many different grade levels. Even AU condition coins sell for hundreds of dollars. This one right here is a PCGS Mid-State 66 full red. You can see double the die obverse right on the label. It's also CAC green beaned as well. You can see that green sticker on the label. And this is the FS 101. The most important out of the 10 or so mainline Cherry Pickers Guide varieties. So this one ended up selling for $1,350. This is always going to be a well-chased coin yesterday, today, and beyond. All right, so, and I would imagine the prices are going to just continue to creep up. The same coin 5 years from now will probably be $100, $200 more. So they are going to get more expensive. The less of them that are in the market, obviously demand is going to rise organically, through time. And these things are just going to continually disappear, starting at the top. 1971S, this is a tough one here. A lot tougher than some of you probably realize at the highest grade level. And this time we have NGC putting their hat in the ring, offering up this graded example as a Mid-State 68 red. That's a very big grade. Usually San Francisco minted pieces from the late 60s going into the early 70s exhibit a much better quality than Philadelphia and Denver minted similar type coins. This particular one sold for $2,151. So again, another big price tag here. which is to be expected. Again, this is more of a necessity for those registries. And 1960. Now we're getting a little bit tougher dates here. We're getting into coins that had just not the best quality. And, it all starts probably in the 50s. The 50s Philadelphia coins are really tough. But 1960s are probably the second toughest decade all around. This particular one right here is the large date variety. All right, so it's got the longer tail of the 6. Same with the 9, the larger 0, and it's a mid-state 67 plus full red. It says large date right on the label. And this one sold for $7,031.25. All right, so now we have a couple of Lincoln wheat cents. Now this one is an absolute amazing gem, and part of that has to do with the toning that's on there. A little bit of rose magenta toning to go along with some little hints of yellow and gold in there. This is about as attractive as you could get. All right, and again, this is a Philadelphia coin, which equates to poor quality. The planchets were generally poor quality. The strikes begin to get a little bit mushy during this era. You can see that on the reverse to some degree. This one is a PCGS 68 red, for crying out loud. It's the top pop for this date. And you're never going to find a bigger coin than this. This one ended up hammering at $29,250. I want you guys to keep this in mind. All right, because I said at the beginning of the video, you can cherry pick some of these through a local coin shop or a coin show. They have toned Lincoln cents that look exactly like this. All you have to do is find one and then just kind of audit it for cleanliness. Make sure there's not some heavy nicks and scratches and all sorts of other things. And that's a coin that traditionally you could buy there at the dealer for under $5. They're that cheap in mid-state red. And we have one here that has come to life in a huge way. How huge? Well, it's like a brand new mid-sized car is what this one sold for. So keep that in mind. Sometimes just finding a high-grade example may not be enough. Find one with color, and then you're going to get a lot of extra grade bumps because of the overall appeal and attraction of such coins. And let's see, this is the last 1 cent denom on the list. Again, it was packed. We had 8. This is the 8th coin already. 1950, one of the toughest. This one, comparatively to some of the other coins in the Lincoln Cent program this week, just doesn't cut the mustard, and that's why Philadelphia graded coins are so tough here with these. This is a mid-state 67 plus, full red example, and it sold for $7,032.38. Again, these are very incredibly expensive coins when they come out, at 67 or higher. It's just finding the ones that would earn that kind of grade. All right, now we're on to nickels, and usually this is the part of the video where I say, well, tough act to follow with those Lincoln cents, but, some of these nickels held their own. Now, we have a few lesser expensive coins, and the big reason why we don't see too many expensive types of Jefferson nickels is they just haven't hit the market. They're really tough because you're entering in now strike designation with those full steps. Here's a very tough date, 1957. As you can see, it also suffers from just crappy luster quality, which is par for the course for this decade. This one is a PCGS Mid-State 66 plus with full steps, and by no means is it the top grade. We still have one full grade point level from this to perfection. And this particular coin ended up selling for $1,750.37. Consider this, I guess, your safety net. If you can't hit that 67 or 67 plus, it's not the worst thing in the world to hit a 66 plus. Still a very valuable coin. Same here with this one, only it's a variety, and it has no full steps. This is actually a very crappy strike on this coin, and they're all like that, from 53 to 55. It's like it's a toss-up on any one of those 3 dates. However, this is an important one, folks. It's one of the biggest varieties and probably one of the more common ones as well. I own a few of these myself. albeit not at this grade level. This is the S over D over mint mark. All right, pretty easy to see. I mean, depending on how your quality of your vision is, you might be able to see it with the naked eye. It's also designated as the FS501, which is a cherry picker's guide Favaz Stanton number. It's a mid-state 66 plus, impressive for the quality of the strike. And this one sold for $1,406.25. So again, another beat stick of a coin with a variety, and it's got all the good stuff. Here's our other tough one. This time NGC took a crack at this 1953 Jefferson. This time a mid-state 67 with 5 full steps. Okay, NGC does grade independently with 5 or 6 full steps, depending on how strong they are. This particular one ended up selling for $2,372.62. Again, another big, very rare coin with the strike designation on there. So there were probably 7 or 8 war nickels I could have added to the list. They all sold for over $1,000, but I elected to do just one, and this is the best out of the bunch, which is actually the most common date, a 43p. So there you go. But what really got this one, the extra consideration in the grade department, has to be that toning color. Very attractive. It's not too, offensive to a lot of collectors. It's not like terminal or anything like that. But it's light enough that it's very attractive. NGC gave this one a 68 grade with 6 full steps. Again, that's a very important number right there. So this one ended up selling for $3,206.25. A PCGS equivalent grade of this coin would probably double the value. All right. And then add a CAC sticker to that, and it would probably double the doubled value again. So there's a lot of things that could happen here. Again, you're kind of rolling a dice when you buy things like this. With the notion of sending it to PCGS, because the grade could drop. It could go down to a 67 or a 67 plus. There's no guarantee. But that's probably part of the reason why that a lot of folks send coins like this to NGC, is to get that impressive numerical grade. All right, I think the stigma is, well, they grade a little bit more lax. It may or may not be true. So. Something to keep in mind, but just a huge coin for any registry set. A couple really nice buffaloes, okay? We don't have to go as far as beyond the 1930s for some of the most glamorous coins. Here's a very achievable, very findable variety. This is the 38D over D. As you guys know, they only made Denver minted buffaloes during 38 because it's a crossover year that also has the Jefferson nickels being produced at the same year. So kind of a weird date, very similar to a few other coins that I know. But yeah, I mean, there's over mint marks, but also the D over D type RPMs for this date, you don't want to overlook. Because if you're able to grade one, say, in a 68, like this one here, I mean, that's a top pop grade for this anyways. So this one ended up selling for $10,406.25. If you find one of these in an album, and I don't see why not, because you could score a BU38D uncherry picked and unattributed for around $40. Maybe a coin shop got a really nice album of these things and ended up having one of these coins with that kind of toning on there. It could happen. I see it all the time. And, it's a very common date, and these were hoarded in high grades. And another big one here, and, you wouldn't think so because of the date. It's a 37S. Now, San Francisco minted coins during the Buffalo age, especially in the 30s, doesn't necessarily mean anything. This mint mark doesn't fool anybody because this is still a very common dated Buffalo nickel, even with the S mint. But 68 is the rarity here on this one, and that's what PCGS gave it. It sold for $10,968.75. Again, another incredible 5-figure coin on one that is very cherry pickable to a lot of us. Not very cherry pickable. The 31S is the second lowest mintage of the entire Buffalo nickel run, but it was also one that was preserved in high states of grade. A lot of people knew that this was going to be a low mintage even before it came out, so there was a lot of hoarding going on. There was a lot of examples that graded in that 63 to 65 arena. However, if you were able to find one that looked like this, the 67, by the way, is clean, and you have all of the original eye appeal, the toning. I mean, this has it all. This one sold for $16,003.12. Impressive coin. And dimes weren't exactly slouching this week either. We have a 1963 for all you folks that are all about, roll fresh, blast white examples. You don't have to look far. There was one here this week. This is a NGC Mid-State 67 Plus Full Torture. So it's got a really nice heavy strike on the reverse. And this one sold for $1,742.62. And there was also a couple proofs in attendance. This one right here came from a proof set that today you could buy for about 30 to 40 bucks. So definitely keep an eye out for some of those ultra cameo, just big time frosty coins like this one, and you'll do okay. A quick little dip in the easiest, and a little distilled water rinse right afterwards. You could have a coin that might grade out this high. So this is a Proof 69 Ultra Cameo, and a huge stunner. This is a very pretty coin, especially when you have that frost offset by the black mirrory fields all over the place. It's a pairing that is undeniable. So this one right here sold for $3,712.50, proving again that these have amazing staying power, even for Roosevelt dimes that, a lot of people are under the impression that they don't like it. All right, so there is always going to be interest in this particular series. And here's another one here, 55. Tougher date, obviously, because this particular proof set you could buy for about 80 bucks. So just over double the value of what the 59 is. 69 Deep Cameo, which is a huge, huge grade. That's the one that you want. And this one, my friends, sold for $17,437.50. Huge coin. We only had one Mercury dime, and there could have been a few more, but I had to pick just one because, the pennies and nickels in today's Monday Market Report encompass about 15 total listings out of the group. So we had to keep dimes a little bit brief. And how about a 16D, right? This is the key date of key dates for the Mercury dimes. And the grade is phenomenal. 64 through PCGS. And you have a high-priced rarity on your hands. $25,104.38 was the final tag on this one. By the time the dust settled, one lucky collector gets himself a rarity. A few nickels. Now, 1983, as we all remember, they didn't make mint sets. All right? And the big part of that is, nobody really saved these. And there are so few BU rolls of 1983 Denver and Philadelphia coins that finding one that grades out at a top pop is damn near impossible. But yet we have one here as a 67 plus graded example. I believe 68 might be the top grade for the state. So this one right here sold for $1,856.25. So there you go. And then the same for 67. There was only special mint sets, which are the specialty struck kind of proof business strike hybrids. So they didn't release a regular mint set, and a lot of people did not save these. We're talking like a few years removed from the end of the silver standard, and people did not like this composition. A lot of people just did not care. So again, BU rolls are few and far between, and as a result, this one sold for $1,743.75. A 50S, a little bit tougher date, all right. Don't get me wrong, this is a little bit tougher than it looks. This one has original kind of like album-esque toning that is probably more on the terminal side, but there are quite a few people that still like this look. PCGS Mid-State 68 with toning, and this one altogether sold for $5,906.25. This one's pretty. I like this one, but I think I like the next coin a little bit more. This one just has like two different styles of toning. You have that etched look on the obverse, and then you have your traditional, kind of like end of roll toner reverse on there. PCGS Mid-State 68 this time around, and it looks the part, man. And at 39D, one of the toughest around. When you dip it into the 30s, in branchment style, so Denver and San Francisco, again, we're talking about serious rarity here. So this one right here sold for $9,281.25. And the final Washington, good gracious, look at that obverse on this one. This is probably my most favorite toner in quite a while. All right, and there were a lot of people that really loved this coin. The bidding activity was strong and furious and just incredibly ridiculous. It was the most ridiculous display of price movement in the last like 2 minutes. I had this one on my watch list. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to try and sneak in, like an $800 bid. Heck no, it did not get there. 67 plus was the grade by PCGS, and you're not going to believe this. $14,062.50. I was a long ways away from having any shot at winning this one. The colors are second to none. I just love this toner. 17S. We had at least one obsolete type coin, and that's the Standing Liberty right here. The Type 2 has the chainmail on Lady Liberty. It's got the modified date area. It's got the 3 stars on the reverse. Okay, this one is a PCGS Mid-State 67 full head. Oh my gosh, way tougher than the Type 1. If you're looking for either one, the Type 2 is certainly above and beyond better, and way tougher to find. So this one sold for $27,000. It would be fun to have like indispensable income to buy stuff like this, because there's a lot of dreamboat kind of like investment level coins that you just hold on to for the rest of your life. This is one of them, and it's just it's like a lot of money. It's like I don't want to. There's not enough livers in the human body that you could donate to be able to buy one of these. Not so much donate, but sell, right? But yeah, that's a wild and crazy coin. And the last couple are $half. They're Kennedys, and you gotta be crazy, man, that these things are just selling the way they are. 1989p. It's a date that I don't see. I see a lot of like 82s and 83s, in that top pop grade. Here's an 89 Philly this time around, Mid-State 68 through NGC, and it sold for $2,862.62. Incredible. Again, high grade. Just look at the coin, see how clean the fields are and the cheek and all the high point areas of the coin, and you'll understand what it takes to get to this grade level. And they're big coins too, so they're a bigger target for, contact marks. So yeah, time to dust off your 64Ds. And if you have one of these in an old album, like an old blue, bookshelf album from Whitman, or an old Dansko, or a library of coins, take notice. Because this is just like a $10, $15 coin, right? You can easily find one of these in a melt bin at a coin shop that they had plucked out of an album that someone had sold to them, and you wouldn't know any better, all right? Mid-State 68, part of that has to do with the toning. I'm sure it got a grade bump because of that. Very clean coin, and don't underestimate the hardness of the metals, the composition of these coins, These things, can make contact with other coins, and it won't do anything. You won't even get contact marks. It actually takes a lot of force to get there. So finding one that's pretty clean, is a possibility. But that toning really does help here in this one. So because of that, this one sold for $14,076.14. One of the craziest kind of like ultra modern sales that I've seen in a long while come to life right here over the weekend. So again, videos for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Please don't make me repeat that. And please do collect responsibly. I had to add a second one. Grade responsibly. You know, you don't have to continuously do that, nor, take out a second mortgage to do such a thing. Really get down the educational aspect of the hobby and numismatics first, and then you can do all the other things. There's a kind of like a plan in place and kind of like a hierarchy in which, one, begets the other. So keep that in mind. So that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today. Thank you guys again for tuning in to the Monday Market Report. I'm your host, Sean with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Always a pleasure. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't done so already, come check me out on all the other social media platforms. We're live all over the place. And that's it. I am out of here. You guys have a wonderful week. Best of luck in your hunts. And thank you again for coming on board. I'll see you guys later.